I was 22 years old before I took my mental health seriously. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I felt my mind telling me that I'm alone, there's no one here with me, and it's not going to get better. I didn't know what it was like to love myself or how to effectively love others. I left hospitalization 2 years ago and I had to receive treatment. I was scared of what everyone would think of me. I was scared that I was going to be called crazy. I was scared to be put on medication because that just confirmed it. I was scared that that meant what I had always thought, that I had too much baggage. But what I found was an overwhelming amount of support. Support I did not know I had. I have been able to live a happy and fulfilling life for over a year now. I am now able to hold down a job and I get to be present in my friends and family's lives. It has been a battle, it has been a climb, and I'm not saying it'll be tomorrow, I'm not saying it'll be 2 years from now. Everybody's journey is different, but I am saying that it is worth it and you'll end up becoming a better person for doing so. It takes time, strength, patience, and determination to reach recovery. I am living evidence that recovery is real.
If you're struggling, help is available. Call or text 988 for confidential and compassionate support.
I'm here for you. I'm Nora O'Donnell with the CSED News. "50% of the air you breathe."
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Tomorrow is the first official day of spring, but overnight, temps will feel more like we're in the middle of winter. We'll have what you need to know coming up in just 3 minutes.
But first, Augusta businesses are regrouping after a busy St. Patrick's Day weekend. The great weather encouraged thousands to come out and support our local businesses.
A big sticking point for many was the change in the parade route because of roadwork projects. And those same projects, they will still be going on as Augusta enters the national spotlight for 2 weeks of golf. Our Sydney Hood is live in downtown Augusta. Sydney, how are businesses feeling as we head into this very busy season?
Well, even though it is tricky to get to some of these places, they are still here, and business owners want you to know that nothing is changing for them on the inside, despite all the changes you're seeing on the outside. The construction cones and the road closed signs are no strangers for us at this point. The city says these are projects that will improve sidewalks, gutters, and curbs. But for a business that's stuck in the middle of all this and they really have nowhere to go, it could be more of a headache than anything.
Unique, great concept, great food, great customer service. So we just kind of use that as our motivation to keep going. I mean, just have the understanding of, it is what it is. There's not a whole lot you can do, but just do your best, and hopefully that'll catch on and people will keep coming.
And talking with a lot of these businesses today, they all pretty much have the same mindset about all of this. They are looking ahead at what the impact will be here long term. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, the motivation behind these business owners and how they manage to keep a positive attitude despite what's going on out here.
It's good to have that positive attitude as we head into a very busy month coming up in April, the start of golf week. It's going to be very interesting to see how that works with all the construction and all the people coming into town.
But you know what? People are going to be here no matter what. They're going to need the businesses. They're going to need the restaurants, so they'll find a way.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sydney, for keeping us updated on that. As we switch gears to weather now, taking a live look out. All right, thanks, Riley. A South Carolina man is accused of killing a New Mexico State police chief, is now a person of interest in another death. Jeremy Smith is accused of killing 35-year-old officer Justin Hare in Albuquerque over the weekend before allegedly stealing the officer's patrol car and leading authorities in a chase. Smith was shot after he opened fire on deputies and is now in custody in New Mexico. No word tonight on a motive. And back here in South Carolina, he's now a person of interest in the death of Phoenicia Machado IV, an EMS worker whose body was found in Dillon County. Authorities say her car was thousands of miles away at the crime scene in New Mexico. Smith has a long criminal history in South Carolina, including a prison escape in 2014.
A decades-old cold case in South Carolina could be tied to a serial killer this month. 5-year-old Justin Turner was killed in 1989. His parents are accused of killing him and were arrested in January, thanks to new technology that linked them to the crime scene. But now their attorneys uncovered the serial killer, Richard Evanitz, was in Monk's Corner the day Justin died. Evanitz, who died in 2002, was a Navy shipman and admitted to the abductions and deaths of several children in Virginia and in Richland County, South Carolina. The Berkeley County Sheriff's Office says they never knew this information until...
The purpose of bringing that up to me was to establish the tunnel vision on behalf of an officer. I've been on the case since January, and I found out, and they've been on the case for 35 years and can't find it.
The defense attorneys say at this time they are not claiming Evanitz killed Justin, but they are claiming Berkeley County has not considered all the facts before charging his parents. Justin's family says this changes nothing, and they hope to find closure.
Tomorrow, the Georgia Board of Pardons and Parole could reward clemency to a man set to be put to death Wednesday. Now, 59-year-old Willie Pye was convicted of murder and other crimes in the 1993 killing of his former girlfriend. His death sentence Wednesday would be the first in the Peach State in more than 4 years. The state is trying to move past an agreement made during the pandemic to pause lethal injections. Pye's lawyers are trying to stay his execution based on that agreement, arguing that requirements for visitation and COVID vaccine requirements have not been fulfilled.
A Richland County Sheriff's canine is at home and recovering tonight after being shot during a chase Thursday. The department posting this photo to Facebook, sharing that canine Kobe's surgery went well. He is starting his healing journey. A 17-year-old suspect is accused of shooting at law enforcement and hit Kobe after a chase in the Columbia area. That suspect is now facing a list of charges, including attempted murder and unlawful injury of a police dog.
An environmental group is sounding the alarm on dangerously high levels of E. coli in the Chattahoochee River. According to the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, the City of Atlanta's Water Rehabilitation Center is the issue. The center is supposed to treat the city's sewage before it's discharged into the river, but the group found E. coli levels are way higher than what's safe.
Latest data indicates that it's 340 times higher than what the safe level is. The R.M. Clayton wastewater treatment facility is failing and is not adequately treating the sewage that's going into the Chattahoochee River.
The group says the city's drinking water is not affected, but you might not want to dip your feet in the Chattahoochee in the Atlanta area right now. E. coli can make you pretty sick, causing vomiting, stomach cramps, and sometimes it can be very serious. Riley?
Well, luckily the cold temps, I think, should keep most people out of the river for the next couple of days. We do have a freeze warning in effect. We'll have that full forecast coming up.
The government is often keeping secret the identities of doctors and nurses who make mistakes in military hospitals. Next, an investigation into this secretive system.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Hey, folks.
When doctors and nurses who treat military members and their families make serious or even deadly mistakes, we've learned their identities are often being kept a secret.
National investigative reporter Josie Sturman uncovers mistakes, misconduct, and malpractice paid for with tax dollars and shielded from view in Doctors of Defense.
Just 12 days after his first birthday, Zamari Reese was supposed to get ear tubes and have his adenoids removed. The surgeries at Walter Reed Medical Center were supposed to be quick and simple. They weren't.
This was him the morning of his surgery, and this is how they returned him to me.
A lawsuit filed by his family against the government says Zamari's doctors knew he had medical conditions that put him at risk. He came out of surgery suffering a permanent brain injury caused by a lack of oxygen after military doctors carried on even as he struggled to breathe and his heart failed. Now 8 years old, Zamari is wheelchair bound and requires round-the-clock care from his mother, with a judge awarding the family millions to cover the cost.
No amount of money will replace what they took from my child.
Our national investigative team analyzed the numbers from an annual report made to Congress. Since September of 2009, we found nearly 1,500 medical malpractice claims solely from the military system have cost taxpayers almost $1 billion.
That tells me there's a very significant problem with military medicine that needs to be looked at and addressed.
That annual report to Congress doesn't name names. In the civilian world, though, malpractice judgments are often included in a doctor's profile on state medical board websites anyone can access. But that's not often the case for many military providers.
Right now, the secrecy isn't really helping anyone except for people who are bad actors.
Steve Ellis with Taxpayers for Common Sense says the malpractice spending raises big questions Congress should be asking about military health care quality and transparency.
And the government should be putting this information out already. It's embarrassing.
Since May 2022, we've filed 9 Freedom of Information Act requests with the Defense Department and Defense Health Agency, as well as the individual branches of service, asking for malpractice and discipline information. Our requests have been repeatedly denied.
Why are they hiding it? Because it's bad.
After the threat of potential action from our legal team, we were finally given data never before seen by the public. It shows that between 2018 and 2022, there have been at least 478 military medical providers reported by the Department of Defense to something called the National Practitioner Data Bank. That's a confidential government repository that houses disciplinary records and malpractice judgments against healthcare professionals across the country. It includes cases involving misconduct and mistakes, even injuries and deaths. But service members and members of the public can't see who's in there.
How can you have that many incidences and that many problems and that much cost? The scarier part is, who are they?
Our information requests asked for the names of military providers reported by the Defense Health Agency. We didn't get them, but we're continuing to fight. The agency wouldn't do an interview and did little more than cite federal code when asked why discipline involving problem military providers is kept secret from the service members they treat.
My husband put those boots on before my son's injury, and he continued to put those boots on after.
Although her husband has ended his service to his country, Tamika Harris Reese is soldiering on with the task of caring for their son. Zamari Reese, another casualty of military malpractice.
And none of the doctors involved in that Reese case have any disciplinary action listed in their state medical board records. Our national investigative team also shared our basic findings with congressional lawmakers, some veterans themselves who've been vocal about the care given to service members. They did not respond.
Breaking news live at 5. A fire in downtown Aiken that broke out Saturday, we now know was caused by electrical issues. Fire crews were called to the scene around 1:30. No one was hurt. Several businesses, though, are closed today as a result of smoke damage, including a Fox's Tail and True Aiken. We have information on our website, wrdw.com, on how you can support these small businesses in the meantime. Riley?
And they could definitely use your support. Definitely a tough situation there. We have some cold temperatures tonight, likely going to be close to freezing by tomorrow morning. Another quick look at that forecast just after the break.
Lake Lanier to the northeast of Atlanta is set to open a massive 418-foot ride this summer. It is slated to be the biggest and Georgia's fastest water slide coaster. It is called the Apocalypso.
What a great name. It's being built at Margaritaville at Lanier Islands. The attraction is said to have steep valleys and hills with the largest drop of its kind in the country. 3 more slides will also lead from the same tower. Now, the new water park with Apocalypso, I can't even say it right, opens May 4th. But yeah, steepest drop in the country. Would you do it? Is the question.
You know what?
You would
time
do it.
I would.
Yeah, you would do it.
I would.
I'm not a big roller coaster person, but I think I'd have to try it out.
I would say if it was anywhere but Lake Lanier, I would try it out.
I didn't want to say it, but you said it, so I agree.
This is the first I'm hearing about the
And then they
So
name it
haunting Lake
Apocalypso. It's just like
yeah, I get it.
You're setting yourself up for
I get
problems
it.
here.
I get it.
Oh, yeah. Best of luck to that place, and definitely stay safe for you. Hey, Clarksville Lake.
It's bow time.
What's that?
The Bojangler from Bojangles.
The same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries?
The same.
Not the same.
The Bojangler's back. Order in the app to hook 'em while you can. It's bow time.
Okay. Foundation. Roof savers. Save your roof, save your money.
You're watching News 12 live at 5. Continues.
Tonight, the first person ever to be charged with murder linked to a fentanyl overdose in Columbia County is out of prison early. Colin McGill took a plea deal last year, reducing his felony murder charge to a drug distribution charge. A judge sentenced him to 25 years, 5 in prison, and then the other 20 on probation. He only spent about a year and 2 months of that, though, behind bars. Not even half of his sentence, a third. And that is not sitting well with the family of Alex King. Alex would have celebrated his 32nd birthday last month, but he died in 2020 after taking pills laced with fentanyl. Investigators say McGill sold him tainted Percocet. Columbia County District Attorney Bobby Christine invited Alex's stepfather, Brian Lugo, to stand next to him at a news conference in 2022. That's when the DA announced murder charges for McGill, also saying his office was cracking down on fentanyl. Back when the plea deal was reached, Alec King's stepfather told me he was devastated. And today, he says news of this drug dealer walking free after serving such little time feels like a stab in the back.
This is the surreal part of our life. You just can't believe it. You know, from when Alex died, investigation happens, you think you're going to get some sort of justice, but no justice. I mean, there's no thing of justice. I mean, they didn't even include Alex's death within the plea deal.
No, so no one was truly held accountable for Alex's death. Last year's plea deal just included drug distribution. Coming up all new on News 12 tonight at 6 o'clock, much more of my conversation with Brian Lugo. I asked Columbia County's district attorney if he considers that those he offers plea deals to, if that they could be released early. We'll have much more on that exchange coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. Yeah, hopefully that family can get some answers. They've been through so much. Looking for some of that closure, too. We know you'll stay on top of that. Thanks for that update, Meredith. As we switch gears to weather, now we'll take a live look outside over the Thurman Dam, and we'll check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist about 10 minutes. All right, thanks for that, Riley. 3 locals are now facing charges after an online sting operation to target child predators called Operation Sweet Tea. Rubicel Castro Cruz, Anthony Harley, and James Waller are each charged with sexual exploitation of children. They are in custody tonight. Grovetown police say the sting operation included speaking with more than 1,000 people over the internet. 157 verified adults expressed a desire to meet for sexual activity with a known minor, according to investigators. Of those, 12 said they would be willing to travel to meet with the so-called child for sex and offered payment in exchange. Investigators say these 3 are just a few of the suspects charged in this operation. 5 students with the University of Georgia are being called heroes tonight after they rescued 3 people from a sinking vehicle in Burke County. At around 5:30 Friday evening, deputies say they were called to Briar Creek at the Ellison Bridge boat ramp. Those 5 students say they saw a vehicle leave the roadway and roll into the creek, and without even thinking, no hesitation, they turned their vehicle around and went to help.
We go down this hill and we just see this vehicle submerged in the middle of a creek, and it's just sinking by the second, more and more under. And so we just throw our stuff aside, basically just without really much hesitation, and just jump in. And
some quick thinking there. Everyone in that vehicle survived, no doubt in part because of these girls' actions. All new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We hear more from these brave students and their quick thinking. Incredible that they were there. I mean, talk about being at the right place at the right time. Live at 5, it's a mad dash at the Georgia State Capitol this week. Lawmakers only have a few more days to get bills to Governor Kemp's desk. Georgia State House reporter Abby Kasoris explains where 2 key pieces of legislation stand tonight.
5 more working days, which mean full agendas and hour-long debates within each chamber. 2 bills hoping to get over the finish line, facing some opposition during an education meeting today. The House Education Committee is getting an earful about Senate Bill 390, which cuts state ties with the American Library Association. State Senator Larry Walker says the group is driving a culture war in the children's section of school and local libraries.
Parents, I don't want them to be reticent reticent to take their kids to the library for fear of what they may be exposed to at an inappropriate age.
The ALA maintains they are a nonpartisan group, librarian after librarian opposing the bill. Harrison Tran, a Savannah High School senior, speaking in opposition to the bill. For his school librarian, Miss Ibsen.
She, in many ways, helped us enhance our love and passion for reading and learning by allowing us to freely pursue our interests. I don't think state government should be able to dictate what the best decisions are for those communities.
The committee also hearing a resolution paired with a sports betting bill. If the majority of Georgians vote to support the legalization of sports betting in November, 80% of the revenue would fund pre-K programs or college scholarships, 15% to address gambling addiction, and the remaining 5% will create a fund for Georgia to recruit and fund major sport events. That meeting was hearing only. No action was taken. Meetings here at the state capitol over the next several days starting at 7 a.m. and going until 7 p.m. If any last-minute amendments are added, those bills still need approval in both chambers before heading to the governor's desk. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Breaking news live at 5. SLED is investigating an incident out of Orangeburg where a suspect was shot in the hand by police. Now, this happened Saturday after arrest warrants say 29-year-old David Glover entered an occupied Orangeburg public safety patrol vehicle. The warrant says Glover was shot after he failed several times to listen to that officer. No law enforcement was injured, and SLED says it is continuing to investigate.
For weeks now, Augusta University students have worked on this beautiful piece of art in downtown Augusta, and now it's paid off because the mural on 11th and Reynolds Street is complete. Today, several school leaders and artists celebrated its completion. If you would like to see it for yourself, it is right across from the Georgia Cyber Center. Beautiful piece of work there.
I love it. Love all the murals. Congratulations are in order for the Augusta Junior players. This past weekend, they won a few awards and some big ones for their rendition of Sistas at the Southeastern Theater Conference. For 2 years in a row, they have won in their categories against adults to advance to SETC. This year, they won Best Scenic Design, Excellence in Musical Ensemble, and this is the big one, the 2024 Outstanding Production Award. These actors were also scouted during the competition so they could earn scholarships based on their performance. We understand some of them auditioned for as many as 70 different colleges.
They're going to need a bigger trophy case there. That's all I have to say. They're always winning.
They really are. So congrats. I mean, this show, incredible. These girls deserve all the accolades.
Awesome work. Still no end in sight for a huge backup at a USPS distribution center in Atlanta. Why your mail might be stuck in limbo. Coming up next, Riley.
We have temperatures near freezing tomorrow morning. It'll potentially could feel like the 20s, so staying pretty breezy. I'm not looking at forecast for that.
Time and here at Augusta Gardens, we treat your family members like they're the star of the show. We have fun and we socialize. Augusta Gardens Senior Living and Memory Care is the place to be. Call right now for a personal tour with Macy Bennett. Ask for the special rate.
Brett, what are you doing? Laminating some stuff. First off, pretty sure that's a federal offense. And second, that's for our customers to laminate their Medicare cards when they come in for a commitment-free consultation. My bad. RU64.com.
All right, today it's going to feel chilly, and overall the next 7 days, temps near or below average.
All right, thanks, Riley. Your mail might be stuck at a USPS distribution center in Atlanta as we speak. For nearly a week now, unknown issues have caused a huge backup in mail delivery.
It's causing a lot of problems. Georgia Senator John Ossoff is involved now, calling for an inquiry into what's causing the holdup and why all this mail is stuck in limbo. Joshua Skinner has the latest now on the backup.
In the ongoing saga of the Palmetto USPS facility delays, Georgia Senator John Ossoff publicly addressed why mail is not getting to your address.
It wasn't supposed to be like this.
We've received a lot of outreach about the ongoing issues at Palmetto.
Drivers waiting the entire workday to drop off or deliver mail at the new Palmetto USPS Distribution Center.
How long have you been sitting out here?
6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah, and we don't know exactly what time you get out. But right now, the solutions aren't moving any faster, prompting Senator Ossoff to address the matter while at an American Legion post.
So we're seeing some significant mail processing and delivery delays. There have also been alarming allegations and reports of criminal activity.
The problem is arguably worse on the receiving end. Carol Hunter and the HBCU Green Fund send students across the world. Hunter said delays at the Palmetto facility almost destroyed the trip. Their passports stuck in the delivery process.
We've invested a lot of funds in this experience of taking the students from Atlanta to Africa.
Ossoff's office officially filed an inquiry into the delays at the facility.
When I hear from my constituents that they're having issues with the Postal Service that impact family safety and security, or just the orderly delivery of mail necessary for quality of life and commerce, I take action.
But until that inquiry loads any results, it's likely the problems at the facility will persist, leaving mailboxes empty and drivers in park.
It starts with establishing the facts, and that's what we're seeking to do through this initial inquiry.
While USPS still has not explained what's causing the backup, it does say it's working to fix the issue as soon as possible.
We all have our favorite music streaming app, but this one may be the best of them all. I'm Jamie Tucker, coming up with a free music app you've got to try.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group. Watch WRDW News at 5:30 weekdays for What the Tech. Sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School, leading the CSRA in STEM education. Windows and streaming on Paramount Plus. Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your First Alert.
We all have our favorite app for streaming music, but you might find yourself listening to the same music all the time.
Yeah, our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker has an app that lets you listen to music you've never heard in places you've never been.
What the Tech, sponsored by Augusta Preparatory Day School.
Streaming music on some of the popular streaming apps like Amazon, Spotify, and Apple, they're usually fine, but it can get monotonous because their algorithms keep pushing music they think you'll like. But this streaming music app, well, it just may be the best free app in the App Store. Radio Garden is a non-profit app that's 100% free if you don't mind some pop-up ads every now and then. Open the app to see a 3D globe of the world that spins as you drag your finger over it. All those green dots, oh, those are radio stations, live and on the air. Thousands of them. Hover over one to tune in. I enjoy listening to a station in Ireland for authentic Irish music on St. Paddy's Day. So I zoom into a station in Glenaslan, Ireland. Want to feel like you're in the Florida Keys? Zoom into A1A. In Lyon, France, there are radio stations that play only jazz, blues, soul, and every other genre. I spin the globe again to find this all-reggae station in Nigeria. Over 30,000 stations to choose from, and the app is planting seeds of new stations every week. Find one you like, and you can add it to your favorites. But it's fun just spanning the globe and dropping in on a city and a station. You may learn a bit about their culture as well as geography. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Radio Garden is the app of the day.
And the app is based in Amsterdam. It's free for iPhone and Android users, and it's also available on the web at radio.garden. Well, the Harlem baseball team is coming off their first state title since 1986, and with the way they're playing right now, they'll have a shot at defending their crown.
Our News 12 sports director Dan Booth stopped by practice to catch up on the defending state champs who are on fire to start the season.
Head coach Jimmy Lewis and his Harlem Bulldogs are off to a 16-0 start to the 2024 season. They're currently outscoring their opponents by a total of 88 runs so far this year and have 6 shutouts on their resume. In addition to being undefeated, according to Max Preps, Harlem is the 23rd best team in the nation. The Bulldogs were nationally ranked at the end of last season, and one of the reasons they're back in the national spotlight is because they have 8 returning starters from that state championship winning team, and multiple of their returning upperclassmen have either signed or committed to play in college. This is Jimmy Lewis's 46th season as head coach, and he knows that if his team keeps putting in the work the way they have been, they'll have a shot to go back to back.
And they feel like, you know, if they work hard and they continue, good things will happen. I mean, it's hard to win a state championship back to back. I mean, last year there was some breaks, some luck, some divine intervention, but basically it was hard work that got us to the point to where we got those breaks, and we got that little bit of luck. They know the same thing. If they keep working here, maybe it'll happen again.
Harlem is putting their unbeaten record on the line tomorrow night at home against Hepzibah before facing North Augusta at SRP Park on Thursday. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.
When I was a Marine, 999.
If basketball isn't your style this March, you can vote in a penguin bracket instead.
Perfect. The March of the Penguins Madness bracket is now open to crown the world's favorite penguin, of course.
The winner gets international recognition and a permanent place in the Iceberg Hall of Heroes. South Carolina's very own Fozzie, the king penguin, is in the bracket. He's a 2-year-old and the youngest of the Riverbank Zoo's king penguins. Look at Fozzie.
Yeah, but on the other side, he's going against McFaddy this round, a 14-year-old king penguin that lives at an indoor ski resort in Dubai. He hasn't made there. Right now, he has about a 100-vote lead over Fozzie. The first round of voting ends this evening. You can cast your vote at penguinsinternational.com. Again, penguins with an S, international.com.
I hate to say it, but Fozzie
I might have to go with
is
McFaddy.
looking a little thicker than McFaddy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see?
I like the
That's
color
what
of that
happens.
one. He has a beautiful head on him. That is a beautiful bird.
Yeah. I think McFaddy is at an indoor ski resort for a reason, and that's why. I don't know.
But he doesn't look fat. Maybe we need to see him waddle. Do the penguin waddle, and maybe that's how he got his name. I don't
just need to know more about this indoor ski resort that has a penguin in Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai's
There's so many questions here.
Well, Dubai's extra, so.
You're right.
You know.
You're right. But yeah, cast your vote. We'll see who comes out on top.
penguininternational.org if you want to go cast your vote right there. Hey, we got some cold temps heading our way tonight. It's a little bit cool out there this afternoon, especially as this wind now starts to pick up. We are still seeing a sustained wind around 15, 20 miles an hour across the area and gusting close to 30 in a few spots. So that's going to make it feel even colder for the rest of tonight. We've really seen that wind pick up. This is sustained wind right now, 22 miles an hour up in Washington and Wilkes County and close to 20 as well in Thompson. That wind will not really calm down until we get to tomorrow morning. So remember, lake wind advisory in effect tonight. If you're heading out this evening, we will stay dry, but just make sure you do have that jacket. Going to be a little bit cool out there. And then tomorrow morning, it's going to be cold. We have freeze warnings in effect, so protect your pets and plants.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.